Donald Trump was asked about a recent answer he gave to Chris Matthews where he said that women should be punished if they get abortions. And that's a position that's so extreme it even breaks from many in the anti-abortion movement because they say, hey, we want to ban it, but we don't want to punish the woman. So there was this huge backlash over this. It was a big story. And now he's asked about it again, so let's see how he handles it.
What about what you told Chris Matthews a few weeks ago, which is that women who get abortions should be punished? Do you still believe that to be true?
No, he was asking me a theoretical or just a question in theory, and I talked about it only from that standpoint. Of course not. And that was done. He said, I guess it was theoretically, but he was asking me a rhetorical question, and I gave an answer. And by the way, people thought from an academic standpoint and asked rhetorically, people said that answer was an unbelievable academic answer. But of course not. And I said that afterwards. Everybody understands.
Yeah. Hey, so
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That made no sense. In fact, I want to give you the actual text of it so that you can see what it sounds like as somebody else reads it to you. Donald Trump answered, "No, he was asking me a theoretical or just a question in theory, and I talked about it only from that standpoint. Of course not. And that was done," he said, I guess it was theoretically, but he was asking a rhetorical question, and I gave an answer. And by the way, people thought from an academic standpoint and asked rhetorically, people said that that answer was an unbelievable academic answer. But of course not, and I said that afterwards. So, when you ask a question, and you're a reporter or a journalist, and you're in the news business, when you ask a question and somebody answers like that, it's a given that even among these people on Morning Joe, somebody's going to have a substantive follow-up and ask him to make more sense about it, right?
So, Donald, there are two family members around this set that are very happy this morning. My brother is extraordinarily happy.
Who's a great guy, by the way.
George brutalized me for 9 months whenever I criticized you. And Nicole actually had to stop going home for a while.
Last night,
but her parents. Did you get a text from it?
I got a tweet last night when I asked about Republicans for Hillary. They start hate tweeting me. What about Democrats for Donald Trump?
Donald, people in my family, my brother, he really loves you. He's so happy about your win last night. It's really incredible. And then Nicole, her parents, they love you so much that you got the tweet ready? Read the tweet to Donald. This is so fun. It's so fun. You're not running for president and said that you'd torture people and that you'd kill civilians in the Middle East on purpose, and you just gave an answer that makes no sense, and I'm not pushing back on you right now. Look at these bitches. They are a disgrace to the field that they work in. You're yucking it up, having a good time. Dude, somebody just asked a question, and he responded in a way that made no sense, and you pivoted to, my brother really likes you. He's a big fan. Can you sign my hat? You bitch. No, see, what they're going to do is, make no mistake about it, because they're already doing it. They're sucking up to power, and they're sucking up to power because power is power, and they're sucking up for access too. So, these guys, if you watch Morning Joe and you take them seriously, you're a sad human being. All they are fame chasers. They want to be in that elite club. They want to rub elbows with the stars and the big names, and they just want to be liked and loved. And if that means propping up somebody who says he's going to massacre civilians in the Middle East and torture even if it doesn't work, well, so be it. The thing that's so amazing about this is how stark the comparison was. He was just asked a question and gave the most nonsensical answer in human history. And even then, a wide open door to say, hold on now, let's get you on the record. Do you want to punish them or not? And if you do, how do you want to punish them? And if you don't, why did you flip-flop from what you said before? Instead of giving that, nothing. They had no follow-up except, my brother really likes you. He's a big fan, and Nicole's parents love you. People are so happy that you won yesterday. Morning Joe has always gotten shitty ratings too, by the way, just as a side note here. So he's not kept on the air, and they're not kept on the air because they do a good job. They're pathetic. They're kept on the air because they are friends with management. And you can tell they love making more friends in powerful places because that's what they're all about. They're all about access. They're all about power. They're all about nepotism. They don't give a shit about journalism. They don't give a shit about news. This is such an embarrassment that, honestly, I think even people who are defenders of that show could see this clip and go, yeah, I mean, come on, man. He just gave a stupid, shitty answer to a question, and there wasn't a single follow-up. And it wasn't even like a neutral response where you ask another question. It was immediately blowing him on live TV.